Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Narada's instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam, Text 24. Te maya peta khila chapaler bhake.
Te maya peta khila chapaler
Dante dhruta kridanake no vartini.
Dante Dhrudaktredanakenu
Chakruho krupam yadyapi tulya darshana.
Chakruhu krupam yadyapi tulyadarshanaah
Shusru samane munayalpa bhashini.
Shushrushamane munayolpabhashini
Hemaya peta khila chapaler bhake.
He maya peta khila chapaler
Dante dhruta kridanake no vartini.
Dante adhrit kridan ke anuvartini.
Chakruhu krupam yadyapi tulya darshana.
Chakruha kripam yadyapi tulya darshana.
Samane munayolpavashini.
Shushrushamani
muniyolpavashini.
munayolpavashini.
Please recite.
Te maya peta khila chapaler
Maye petaki chapaler
Arbhake
Dante Dhrudaktredanakenu
Dante अधिकृत कीडन के अनुवर्तिनी
Chakruhu krupam yadyapi tulyadarshana
चक्रुः कृपान् यद्यपि तुल्यदर्शना
Shushamane munayolpabhashini
शुश्रूषमाणे मुनियोः अल्पभाषिणी ते मय्यपेताखिल चापले अर्भके
Maye petaki chapaler bhake.
दान्ते अद्रिकिडन के अनुवर्तिनी
Dante dhruta kridanake no vartini.
चक्रु कृपाण यद्यपि तुल्य दर्शना
Chakruhu krupam yadyapi tulya darshana.
श्रुश्रूषमाणे मुनिया अल्पभाषिनी
Samane munayolpavashini.
Te maya peta khil chapale arbhake.
हे मैया पेताखिल चापले अर्भके
Dante adhrit kridan ke anuvartini.
दान्ते अधृत कीडन के अनुवर्तिनी
Chakruha kripam yadyapi tulya darshana.
चक्रु कृपान यद्यपि तुल्य दर्शना
Shushrushamane munayo alpabhashini.
शुश्रूषमाणे मुनिया अल्पभाषिनी
Okay. Te
ते
de
दे
my
मई
unto me
unto me
apeta
अपेता
not having undergone
not having undergone
akhila
Akhila
all kinds of
all kinds of
chapale
chapale
proclivities
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 arbhake
Arvake
unto a boy.
unto a boy.
Dante,
Dante
having controlled the senses.
having controlled the senses.
Adhruta Kridanake,
Adata Krina Danke
without being accustomed to sporting habits.
without being accustomed to sporting habits.
Anuvartini,
Anuvartini
obedient.
obedient.
Chakruhu,
Chakrahu
idvesto.
did besto.
Krupam,
Karpam
causeless mercy.
causeless mercy.
Yadyapi,
Yadapi
although
although
Tulya Darsana,
Tulya Darsana
partial by nature.
impartial by nature.
Susru Samane,
Sustru Samane
unto the faithful.
unto the faithful.
Munayaha,
Muniya
the Muni followers of
the Muni
Vedānta.
followers of the Vedānta.
Alpavasini,
Alpabhasini
one who does not speak more than required.
one who does not speak more than required.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Although they were impartial by nature, those followers of Vedanta blessed me with their causeless mercy. As far as I was concerned, I was self-controlled and had no attachment for sports even though I was a boy. In addition, I was not naughty and I did not speak more than required. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, all the Vedas are searching after me. Lord Sri Chaitanya says that in Veda, the subject matters are only three, namely to establish the relation of living entities with the personality of Godhead, perform related duties in devotional service, and thus achieve the ultimate goal, back to Godhead. This is Sanskrit technical terms are Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojana. As such, Vedanta Vadis or the followers of Vedanta indicate the pure devotees of personality of Godhead. Such Vedanta Vadis or Bhakti Vedantas are impartial in distributing transcendental knowledge of devotional service. To them, no one is enemy or friend. No one is educated or uneducated. No one especially favorable. No one is favorable. The Bhakti Vedantas see that the people in general are wasting time in false sensuous things. Their business is to get the ignorant mass of people to re-establish the lost relationship with the personality of Godhead. By such endeavor, even the most forgotten soul is roused up to the sense of spiritual life, and thus being initiated by Bhakti Vedantas, the people in general gradually progress on the path of transcendental realization. So the Vedanta Vadi is initiated the boy even before he became self-controlled and was detached from childish sporting, etc. But before the initiation, he became more and more advanced in discipline, which is very essential for one who wishes to make progress in the line. And the system of Varnashrama Dharma, which is the beginning of actual human life, small boys after 5 years of age are said to become brahmachari at the Guru's ashram, where these things are systematically taught to boys, be they king's sons or sons of ordinary citizens. Training was compulsory not only to create good citizens of the state, but also to prepare each boy's future life for spiritual realization. The irresponsible life of sense enjoyment was unknown to the children of the followers of Varnashrama system. The boy was even injected with spiritual acumen before being placed by the father in the womb of the mother. Both the father and mother were responsible for the boy's success in being liberated from the material bondage. That is the process of successful family planning. It is to beget children for complete perfection. Without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, without being fully obedient, no one can become successful in following the instructions of spiritual master. And without doing so, no one is able to go back Godhead. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedānta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschat Desatari Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasri Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Anybody who remembers what are the three qualifications to become or to make proper progress in spiritual life? What is the first one?
Chanting.
Eh? Yeah, unmute your mic and say. You just heard.
Sravanam.
Array, based on this purport.
Sir, it says the first qualification is self-controlled.
Self-control. Who is speaking? Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji, Piyush say.
Okay. Self-control is the first one. Second, not
Obedience.
use somebody else.
Obedience.
To
Obedience.
obey the orders of spiritual master.
Obedient. Obedient is third one.
Okay.
Second is discipline. Self-discipline and then obedient. This is Vedic culture. This is a Vedic culture. And in Vedic culture, these three things are given training to boys and girls in our family tradition. And in Vedic culture, Dharma was taught in gurukula. Ladies, they learned from their mothers. For the boys, they have to go out because boys must learn austerity. Living in a house is comfortable, right? Nowadays, children, they demand we should have a separate room with all electronic gadgets. For what? Just to become anti of this. No self-control, no obedience, and no discipline. Very bad situation the world is going to face now. This COVID pandemic and economic meltdown, these are nothing. The real problem is the humanity would go against the spirit of humanity. The current humanity will go against the spirit of humanity. Spirit of humanity is to search the truth. If in human form of life we are not searching truth, what will happen to that spirit of humanity? It will be killed. It's a cold-blooded murder. Cold-blooded murder. This is going to happen. We saw the narration of Narada. Narada, in the previous day of Brahma, towards end, almost Sandhya, he was born to a maid servant, and there are Bhakti Vedantists. They lived in the outskirts of the village. They made a camp there, and they were chanting day in, day out for 4 months of Chaturmasya. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So they are chanting there, they are doing Krishna Katha, everything they are doing there. And Narada's mother, being a devoted lady, she served this Bhaktivedanta whenever she found time. But more importantly, she engaged her son in the service of this Bhaktivedantist. And Bhaktivedantists, they saw, although here is a 5-year-old boy, he is not interested in sports. He is not interested in sports. Neither he spoke. Normally nowadays, you point any child, they will just go on speaking, blah, 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 blah. Their mouth will not stop speaking something, and that something must be a nonsense. But Narada, in his previous birth, was an absolutely self-disciplined boy, self-controlled, and obedient. So what is self-control? Self-control means who is able to control his urges. Self-discipline means getting up early morning, going to bed early, and maintaining punctuality. Self-discipline. You do everything according to a schedule, right? Whatever necessary you eat, what is not necessary don't eat. And obedient. Listen. The ability to listen and accept. Nowadays you speak to anyone, they would listen, but as if they have not listened. It's derogatory. You are speaking to someone and they appear to be listening, but they are not listening. It's very derogatory. And this is the current situation. And in this situation, we are going to spread Krishna consciousness. Very difficult subject. Very difficult. So those who are joining on this very day, Navratra has started. Lord Ram is going to kill Ravana on the 10th day, Dasahara. And so we have all these, each head represents one seed. And if we pray to Krishna, Lord Rama will kill all our 10 demoniac propensities. And so this, and then it will be followed by Kartik month, the most auspicious month, because on that very month, Krishna has very fabulous pastimes. We are going to read from Krishna book. That will be amazing. And every day in Kartik month, we are going to do Deepdan. So all of you should keep one candle. And as we sing, you can show that candle to the picture of Krishna bound by Mother Yashoda's love, Damodar. So dear devotees, let us ask ourselves, am I self-controlled? Am I disciplined? Am I obedient? Let me not look at fault of others. Let me look at myself, what I am. And Prabhupada is saying, without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead. If you don't have these three qualities, you cannot follow the instructions of your spiritual master. And if I'm not able to follow the instruction of spiritual master, where is the question? Going back to Godhead. So what is aim of our human life? Aim of our human life is we must kill or destroy or remove passion and ignorance completely. It is a necessity. Without this, we cannot make progress. It is simply not possible. So to make progress, we need training. That is why a teacher has to be there. One must accept a teacher. One must voluntarily agree that I am going to follow this teacher. It is, I am not saying, this is Shastra saying, it is necessary. If there is nobody to chastise me, how can I be self-disciplined, self-controlled, and obedient? Not possible. If Vyasadeva is getting chastised after becoming professor, not ordinary professor, a great professor, whose disciples are also equally great professors, Philo, Angira, Vaisampayana, Romaharshana, one more I am forgetting, Philo, Jaimini. These are the kind of professors he created, very famous professors. Somebody asked me a question that how we deal with our teacher after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. What is 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Eternally, we should be surrendered to a teacher such that we never deviate from these three principles. It is necessary. It is not so easy to go back to Godhead. So now, Vyasadeva is being chastised by Naraji that you have misdirected people in general. You have fooled them in the name of Vedas. You have not directly glorified Krishna. In the name of Vedas, you taught them the ritualistic principle of Dharma, then how to earn livelihood, artha, and how to satisfy one's desire in an honest way, and finally, how one should prepare to depart this body, moksha. But beyond dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the natural quality of a devotee, of a jiva, that he is Krishna conscious, is naturally. It is not happening to us. We don't naturally think of Krishna. We naturally think how to drink water when we are thirsty. We naturally think of food when we are hungry. Okay? Naturally, eating, mating, sleeping, depending, nobody teaches you. Everybody is learned by biological instincts. Okay? And beyond the bodily necessities of life, there is necessity of the soul, and that is to love Krishna. Naturally, the tendency to please Krishna. Tendency to please Krishna. So, let's go to the next verse. Once only by their permission, I took the remnants of their food, and by so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. Wow. Okay, I missed one very important point. Let me finish that. Prabhupada said that the goal of human life is to establish our relationship with Krishna, that is sambandha, and to engage in that relationship, avidya, and then finally prayojana, to attain the ultimate goal of life, Krishna prema. So this three is the essence of human life. Essence of human life is sambandha, avidya, and prayojana. Sambandha means I have an eternal, pure, auspicious relationship with Krishna. Relationship means service. Suppose I am a father. But if I am a namesake father, I don't look how my kids are living. Are they properly fed? Are they taught Dharma? Are they disciplined? If I don't educate them, I don't spend time with them, giving them spiritual knowledge and so forth. So then, I'm namesake father, I'm not a father. So whether you are a father, you are a son, you are a mother, you have a relationship. And are we engaging in that relationship? Relationship means to please. Please not for sense gratification, pleasing ultimately to Krishna. So this, there is a relationship, and we must engage in that relationship. And finally, we must attain the goal of life. There are Nava Yogendras. Nava Yogendras are the children of Rishabdev. Rishabdev is a great personality, son of King Navi, and he was an incarnation of Krishna, Satyavasha Avatara. And Rishabdev had 100 sons. Eldest is Bharata, Bharat Maharaj, after whom this land is known as Bharatavarsha. And he had 9 sons who are always young. They never grew beyond 15, 16. Navayogendra. By practice of severe austerity, penance, and practice of bhakti, they become effulgent personified. Always. And these Navayogendras, they always spoke about Krishna. So once King Nimi was performing a great sacrifice, and these Navayogendras suddenly reached there. Seeing the effulgence of these Navayogendras, King Nimi felt very fortunate that such exalted Paramahamsas have assembled And hence, king started first serve them. He served them, he received them with respect, fed them sumptuous prasadam, and then what is the next thing? When you meet a sadhu, what an Indian would do? What an Indian would do? Amit, Anant.
Speak.
You meet a sadhu, what an Indian would do?
Seek blessings, Prabhuji.
The Kalyani Mataji, I didn't ask you. Amit. Amit. When you meet a sadhu, what do you do? He's not speaking. Okay. Anybody else? Ananta? Anmol?
Six.
So we seek blessing.
Seek blessings. चरण स्पर्श पहले जाके चरण पकड़ लेते हैं. मेरा जितना पाप है, सब ये साधु की चरणों में डाल देता हूं. This is what our greeting of sadhus. Our greetings of sadhu is, when I was in Jew temple, I was a young and I was living like a brahmachari. And there are 80-year-old, 70-year-old, very old people would come. And they will try to touch my feet. And immediately I felt this is not my place. I must leave this place. Because they are not interested in understanding the truth. They will never ask any question. But Nimi didn't do that. He asked question. He asked question. And by asking question, he purified his consciousness. If you don't have a question, then your consciousness will never be purified. And you will never ask question if you are satisfied. Like a pig. In Bhagavatam, I think second canto, Sukadeva Goswami is comparing those who are addicted to eating, mating, sleeping and defending. They are compared to 4 animals. One I said, pig. A pig is always satisfied. He has no question. I have the experience, many of you have heard about it. When I was doing my PhD in IIT Delhi, one summer, I'm walking from my hostel, Vindhyachal, to my lab. And on the way, there was a pool, breeze. And I saw under the breeze, and that, when I looked in front, back, everywhere, there was nobody. Because this is summer, extreme heat. Nobody, you can't see anyone. It is like a desert. Nobody is there. I'm the only person who's walking. The only thing is that I have my mala bag and I'm chanting and walking. And suddenly I saw under that breeze a pig with almost more than a dozen piglets. Very happily, blissfully enjoying what they do. I don't have to explain, you understand. This is what is happening. A pig is an animal in absolute ignorance. And there is a, so this is one category of animal we can be identified with. We can be also identified with another animal is camel. Camel eats thorny bushes in the desert. And when you eat thorny bushes, they normally bleed your mouth. And blood would ooze out. And the camel thinks this is tasty, but he's actually tasting his own blood. Similarly, losing our celibacy and destroying our sex, or misutilizing our sex energy into sinful activity. These are that of compared to that of a camel. And then we have dog. Why we are identified with dog? Because dog is always faithful to his master. You might have heard there was a person who was walking along the beach, along the beach with his dog, and suddenly he at some point decided to take bath, and the dog started barking, and the owner, the master, is not able to understand why he's barking. But anyway, as he started entering, he started barking more, and suddenly dog jumped over the master. And then the master saw something amazing, that the alligator was coming to swallow the master, and dog is so faithful that he saved the master's life. And we are similarly faithful to many scoundrels in the form of Microsoft, IBM, Ambani's, and whatnot. But we are not interested to follow our real master, that is Krishna. So, he was faithful to the master, but master could not save him. Rather, the dog sacrificed his life for the master, and master could not do anything. So, and that is the case. We accept all kind of masters who can never save us, but we will not accept Krishna as our real master. This is the problem. And the fourth animal we are compared with or identified with is donkey. Donkey is an animal. 2-3 days back only I was hearing Prabhupada, he was giving this example also, donkey. And donkey doesn't have to live in the washerman's house. But donkey is pulled by the red carrot of washerman. Every day, donkey has to carry. The washerman, he doesn't have a small baggage of cloth. Washerman will have heavy baggage of cloth because and washerman has to take all these cloths to the dhobi ghat to cleanse, and he'll put everything on the donkey back. And in front of donkey, the face, the washerman will bind one carrot, because donkey is a very lazy animal. If you don't sew something to the donkey, donkey will not work. So you will hang a carrot in front of the donkey. And donkey would think that if he goes 1 foot, then he will get the carrot. But as donkey walks a foot, the carrot also moves by 1 foot. And still donkey is such a fool, he cannot understand that he can never reach the carrot. But he is so attracted to that carrot, he would walk. And he would think that he will get that carrot. But as donkey was walking from the dhobi's residence to dhobi ghat, he is walking on green grass. He looked at the grass, he said, I'm getting carrot. Why should I take the grass? And the donkey was made to work very hard by the dhobi washerman. And finally, when the washerman returns again with full bundle of cloth, washerman will not give that carrot to the donkey. He will keep it for next day. And will provide some dry hay or dry grass to the donkey. So this is the story of a donkey. And actually this is also a story of ours. We are made to work very hard. You don't have to work hard. To maintain your body properly, you need just 2 chapatis. For that, you don't have to work so hard, my dear friends. But we are made to believe that we have to build a bungalow for us. We have to have a car for us. We have to this and that and that. And we are made to work so hard. And we don't enjoy anything. So, and what to speak of spiritual things. So anyway, as I told you, Nimi asked questions to Navayogendras. And there are 9 Yogendras. Every Yogendra was asked one specific question. It's a very, very nice conversation. Very wonderful conversation, my dear friends. And very, very nice conversation. And this conversation, maybe I'm going to read them, assimilate. I've forgotten one question I remember. I think Karavajana was asked, or someone was asked, I think Karavajana. And the answer was, as soon as devotees, they ask questions about Krishna, and then another devotee starts explaining, there is a natural inspiration in everybody's heart that their hearts dance in joy and they feel so attracted to Krishna. As narration of Krishna goes on, the entire assembly of devotees, their heart is dancing continuously. Very beautifully, if you read the verse, you will notice. So and this is what, by doing Krishna Katha, we can purify ourselves, because Krishna Katha is all auspicious, my dear friends. And once only by their permission I took the remnants of their food. By so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. So you can see the power or potency which is there in the remnants of these Bhakti Vedantist devotees. According to Vaishnava Shastra, if you meet a pure devotee, 3 things of a pure devotee can instantly purify you. You wash the lotus feet of a pure devotee and drink that water as Saranamrita and sprinkle on your head. You are immediately purified. You take the lotus, the dust from their lotus feet and smear in your body, you'll be purified. And if you honor their remnants, then also you'll be purified. And here Naraji was purified just by once taking their remnant with that permission. Thus being engaged, I became purified in heart, and at that time, the very nature of the transcendentalist became attractive to me. This is the point. a speaker must speak in such a way the hearer are enlivened. And then only they will be able to appreciate the speaker. So, Narada, in his previous life, as a maid-servant boy, by taking the remnant, he became so purified that he was able to understand the transcendental nature of this Bhakti Vedantist. Pure devotion is as much infectious, in good sense, as infectious diseases. Recently, in my house, one after another got infectious. And we thought they are all viral. And later we realized this is COVID. And of course, by Krishna's grace, almost all of us, we have now recovered. So, just like disease is infectious, similarly, pure devotion is also very infectious. It creates a revolution within the heart of impious living beings. This is the real Andolan, real revolution. A pure devotee is cleared from all kinds of sins. The Supreme Personality Godhead is the purest entity. Unless one is equally pure from the infection of material qualities, one cannot become a pure devotee of the Lord. We should not have any attachment for this material world. The Bhakti Vedantas, as above mentioned, were pure devotees. The boy became infected with their qualities of purity by their association, and by eating once the remnants of foodstuff taken by them. So remnants may be taken even without permission of the pure devotees. There are sometimes pseudo devotees, and one should be very much cautious about them. There are many things which hinder one from entering devotional service. But by the association of pure devotees, all these obstacles are removed. The neophyte devotee becomes practically enriched with the transcendental qualities of pure devotee, which means attraction for the personality of Godhead's name, fame, qualities, pastimes, etc. Infection of the qualities of pure devotee means to imbibe taste of pure devotion, always in the transcendental activities of Krishna. This transcendental taste at once makes all material things distasteful. If material things are not distasteful, you must know we have not progressed in spiritual life. Therefore, a pure devotee is not at all attracted by material activities. After the elimination of all sins or obstacles on the path of devotional service, one can become attracted, one can have steadiness, one can have perfect taste, one can have transcendental emotion, and at last one can be situated on the plane of loving service of the Lord. All these stages develop by the association of pure devotees, and that is the purport of this stanza. Okay? So, material things must be distasteful. Recently, 2 years back, I started a company thinking that the devotees can be employed in that company. And I thought that why I should start a company, because we preach here in IIT Kanpur, and when they pass out, they go and join some company. And they're lost to Maya. So we started a company. And when we started a company, I thought that some of our devotees, they were employed. But later I realized that was a horrible mistake. Here, as it is saying that a pure devotee is not at all attracted by material activities. Although my intention was to help the devotees, but instead the whole experiment ended in a very bitter note. And I learned in human life is a very short period of life, and we are not supposed to enter certain ventures because devotees should learn how to live in penury, in minimal necessities, but always joyful. Always they are filled with the taste for chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Like last sentence of this purport, all of you can again hear. After the elimination of all sins or obstacles on the path of devotional service, one can become attracted, one can have steadiness, one can have perfect taste, one can have transcendental emotion. So what is the meaning of that? That one can become attracted to holy name, attracted to devotees, attracted to devotional service, ultimately the attraction for the lotus feet of Krishna. One can have steadiness, that one steadily makes progress. It is not like someday high and someday low. No. Every day there is some steady progress. And one can have perfect taste. That means when we look at our taste, we have to realize we have no taste for material things. Then you can easily tell that you are in proper path. And at last one can be situated on the plane of loving service of the Lord. That is called pure devotional service. The day you are able to feel that Lord Nrsimhadev is feeling hungry. Okay. The day we are very eager, or मुझे बहुत भूख लगा है, I am feeling great hunger. That everybody can realize. But the day you realize Krishna in your altar is feeling hungry, then you know you have advanced. Okay. So, dear devotees, this description of Narada in his previous birth is one of the very inspiring story. And that inspiring story is for each one of us. I have released this story so many times. I have read it, and every time I enjoy the story. And I feel that I have wasted my time, because at the age of 5, Narada is seeking the truth. And at the age of 54, I am seeking material happiness. This is my misery. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any question any one of you have, please let us know. Tarun, in purport it says, boy was even injected with spiritual acumen before being placed by the father in womb of mother. Could you explain this once? What is spiritual acumen? How was this conducted in Vedic tradition, Garbhadana Samskara? This is called Garbhadana Samskara. Garbhadana Samskara means the man and woman, before they unite, they conceive Krishna consciousness by chanting 64 rounds. So after marriage, one should take instruction from the teacher, and they must chant 64 rounds together. And and then pray to Krishna. And that union purifies the soul. So before soul enters into the mother's womb, he is made to enter there with spiritual consciousness. Santosh has quoted Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, as I told you, second canto, third chapter, 19th verse. So, vid parahostra kharai samstuta purushaha pasuhu ayat karna patopeta jatu nama gadagraja. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna, the deliverer from evils. My dear friends, never ever identify yourselves with that of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Then, if we have this mentality, we will never have attraction for Krishna's pastime. Chiranjit Rai, donkey was most funny. After hearing this, I realized that I am also funny. Chiranjit, I have to laugh at your lighter moment. Does Hare Krishna Mahamantra was chanted in other yuga? Yes. Why even material work done for spiritual purposes? What is your question? Why? Even material work done for spiritual purpose is also condemned. No. Any work is done for spiritual purpose cannot be material. Okay. Material, philanthropic work is condemned. Spiritual work, anything we do, we distribute prasadam. So people may think food is material, not. Because once it becomes prasadam and you feed people prasadam, then that is not material, that is spiritual. You build a nice bungalow for yourself, but if you build a nice temple, then that becomes spiritual. One may say, what is the difference between a temple and a mall? They would say in mall you will give employment to so many people, what you will do in temple. But in temple, we glorify Krishna. So, although temple is made up of same material as that of a mall, but by converting a place as a place of worship, you are making or converting matter into spirit. Next. Wow, it is huge, so big question. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, a Vaishnava, by virtue of humility, will not like to allow anyone to take his remnants or dust of his lotus feet. So how does one get this good fortune by taking permission? Is it an offense to take remnants? You can take these things of your spiritual master without permission, but normally not others you need to take. But there is a very nice pastimes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kalidasa, how he would steal all these three from two Vaishnava couple. Okay, so two Vaishnava couple, how he will steal this. You should read that and you will realize that pastime, famous pastime. Maybe today is late. Tomorrow, if you remind me, I will narrate that pastime. It's a very wonderful pastime. He will steal all three from this Vaishnava couple. After writing this question, I saw the purport where Srila Prabhupada says that it's fine to take remnants without asking. Prabhuji, we also happen to serve pure devotees, engage in fulfilling their instruction, even get the opportunity to take their remnants, even with knowledge of the position of such devotees. There is hardly any change in heart. when you compare with how Srila Narada Muni as a child advanced so much, where am I going wrong? So this same thing, self-discipline, self-control, and obedient. Okay. So unless we really understand what I'm looking for, am I looking for spiritual emancipation or I'm looking for material emancipation using spiritual jargon? So this is where is the difference. Narada was highly blessed to understand what is spiritual goal. And we are not able to understand that. We still think we have to do PhD, we have to get married, we have to, so many things we still think is necessary to perfect our life. So there, Jalalimodi, his name is also Sarvagya Gauranga Das. Generally, when we get good ideas while doing chanting, you'll never get good idea while doing chanting. So don't think. What does it mean? Material energy wants to divert us from chanting and chanting. While chanting, the only thing you should do is that you are hearing. But if you are getting ideas while chanting, that means you are not chanting. How that could be a good idea? So, during chanting, we should not divert to anything except hearing. No. Okay. Siddharth Tiwari, Prabhuji, you are teaching us about Lord Krishna, how we can surrender to Lord. But at last you said you are also in some materialistic activity. But I don't think so, since you perform great spiritual work of teaching us. No, I am simply engaged by my spiritual master in doing this. That is why I am saved. Otherwise, I am a rascal like anybody else. It's my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and Vaishnavas have saved me. Next. Prem Ras, what is the difference between sadhana bhakti, raganuga bhakti, when one becomes qualified for each? Does the 9 stages of bhakti are part of sadhana bhakti? Everything can be sadhana bhakti, everything can be raganuga bhakti. This Navada bhakti is normally we say sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means we are conditioned and we have to follow certain rules to practice. So that is sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is performed under the guidance of a spiritual master. Raganuga bhakti also is practiced under a spiritual master. So in our tradition, there are sometimes people practice Raganuga bhakti, but our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur have banned us from practicing Raganuga bhakti in public. Raganuga bhakti normally if one is not careful, one may enter into Sahajya, cheap. In Raganuga bhakti, if somebody, I remember in some katha in Delhi in 1993, some Keralite fellow, Navy fellow who was my neighbor, he took me and I saw the speaker because it's Malayali language I didn't hear, but I saw that person was crying, tears rolling down, and I suddenly saw some woman on the front bench also started crying, and I was not able to understand what's happening. And only when I read Prabhupada's books, I realized This is so sahajya. So nobody should practice Raganuga Bhakti in public. Somebody is practicing, it should be confidential. Subhendu, while chanting, does concentrating on form of Krishna is good, or we should only focus on hearing? No, no need. You should not focus on anything else except hearing. Hearing, sabda rupa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. No, nothing. We sometime, when attention is getting diverted, then we can see the picture. That is all right. Some people also keep Hare Krishna Mahamantra to bring their attention in focus, but main business is to hear. Okay. Sometime we can also read Srimad Bhagavatam also. Hare Krishna sir, in Srimad Bhagavatam 2nd canto 4th chapter, it is said the living entity has potency to know 78% knowledge of Lord. Can you kindly throw light on this statement? Yeah, 78% of Krishna's qualities, not potency, kala. So Krishna has 64 qualities in unlimited amount. We can have maximum 78 into 64, 0.78 into 64, 0.8 into 6 is how much? 0.8, 48. So we can have maximum 48 kala. Krishna has 64 kala, we can have maximum 48 kala, and that Brahma only has. Only at the level of Brahma you can get 48 kalas, but to minute quantity. Whereas Krishna has all 64 qualities in infinite quantity. Next. So many questions today. What is spiritual jargon? Spiritual jargon means you use spiritual language, but your motive is material thing. This is called spiritual jargon. What is Raganuga Bhakti? That is spontaneously you serve Krishna. Santosh, Narad Muni stays in the spiritual world, simultaneously in material world as well. Is Narad Muni same? No, Narad Muni lives within this universe, but he visits. He can visit any spiritual planet at any time. Just like Brahma, just like kya kar rahe bhai? Just like Brahma is unique for each universe, Narad Muni is also unique for each universe. Yes, correct. They are unique. Are they the expansion of Narad Muni in the spiritual world? No. You are getting it. Same Narad Muni in different context, he goes there. Okay? Because Narada Muni is in charge of devotional service. Anybody who is performing devotional service, then this Narada Muni guides such people. Like the Gopakumara story, we see the Gopakumara is being guided in different spiritual planet until one is perfected. Someone from here must guide. So Chiranjit Roy, does Arjuna was having more than 48 qualities? I don't know. Subhendu, in the present age, no varnasama, our mind is not trained from childhood. We do Krishna conscious practice, but the mind is impulsive and stubborn. We understand this state of mind sometime and other times not. How can I overcome this? By practice. Always engage in Krishna's service. Krishna is very kind. Okay? And once we serve the devotees, we serve Krishna, one day you will surely perfect your life. If Prabhupada could say that it took him 32 years to perfect his chanting, He's a pure devotee. So I remember, you came here maybe 10 years back or so. And so still new, Suvendu. Be a little patient. Okay. Yeah. Any other question?
No, sir.
Okay. There are so many questions today. I thank everyone. We had a good beginning and big gathering today. I'm very happy, and I hope you enjoyed Bhagavatam. There are any new people. Can you introduce those who have not introduced? I know Amit Pal, Anant Srivastav, Vapi, Brahmani Krishnadas, Siranjit, Devendra Arya, Ganesh Hansda.
Ramamaya Krishna Das already introduced.
No,
Last.
I know you. I'm just saying. I'm just reading here.
Okay.
One new here.
Okay.
Ganesh Hansda, he is our LG registrant. Gaurav Mathur, Ganesh has joined today. Hariom Birla, Jitendra, Jivnes, Kushbu, Kunal Sahu, all new, all familiar names. Lila Govind, Madhusudan, Meghana, Murthy, and kya ho raha hai? Don't do anything because I am moving the cursor. And Murthy, Oppo AS2020, I don't know who he is. Can you introduce who is Oppo A52020? Padmacharan.
Sir, Srinivas Krishnadas.
Srinivas Krishnadas, why you have given such a confidential code?
सर पता नहीं मुझे, वो अपने आप हो गया सर, वो नया मोबाइल लिया था अपने आप, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया.
तो आपने पूरा आज क्लास अटेंड किया है?
यस सर.
क्या सीखा आपने, बताइए श्रीनिवास कृष्ण प्रभु.
हाँ सर सेल्फ कंट्रोल, वन शुड बी सेल्फ कंट्रोल एंड डिसिप्लिन, एंड थर्ड वन इज ओबीडियंट.
वेरी गुड. और
सर इतना सीख जाऊं, इतना काफी है.
फलानी अपान, पवन गोयल, पीयूष सहगल, प्रेमराज काला, राधाकांत दास, राजकुमार यादव, राजन कुमार, रामकृष्ण गारू, ऋतु माताजी, साधना सोधी, संतोष, शुभेंदु, तरुण, कल्याणी, श्री वैभव, बिनु घाई, विनय चौहान, विनायक गोयल, Vipin Agarwal is here today. Priya Gopi. Okay. So I thank everybody. I don't see anybody new today. So, but all of you joined. I was very happy. Thank you so much. So we will meet again tomorrow in the evening. Hare Krishna.